Bam, 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 bam. Yes, people. Welcome back to another stream. Obviously, you had the panel show last night. We had a good discussion. We talked about Erling Haaland's transfer possibilities as well before that. Again, today is a slightly quieter news in terms of Manchester City, and there's not a huge amount going on in the world of Manchester City. But from tomorrow onwards, we'll start to build towards the Newcastle game on Saturday. But today, we wanted to have an open discussion. Incredible cover, Hugh. An open discussion. Me, Jordan here, you lot in the chat get involved as well. We want to talk about the season so far, talk about some of the players, decide who is the player of the season, who we think could go on to be official player of the season, maybe young player of the season, surprise package. There's a few different kind of mid-season awards, I suppose, to hang, and they're not that significant really in January, are they? But, you know, it's nice to reflect on how we got to this point and see who has been good for us. But before we get started, please do smash a like on the stream. It massively helps us, and subscribe if you're new around here. We'd love to hit 86k as soon as possible. Lots of content to look forward to. Kind of from this weekend onwards, it starts to get very, very busy. You know, you got a lot. Well, sorry, it's a break, isn't there? But there's big games coming up: Tottenham in the Cup, Newcastle in the league, of course, and a lot of Premier League games at home. So, yeah, let's have a chat. I suppose chat. Get in your players that you want to talk about. I suppose we'll start with just who's been the best performer this season. Who has been?
Obviously we can make a case for the different people, innit? Like, so we can throw out the names, give our opinions, but we can also play devil's advocate against the grain and kind of show why each player could deserve it. Do you know what I mean? That's great. I've got the stats of all the players, like the ones that I imagine that people have been picking out anyway.
Hamza, the transfer videos will come back when there's transfer news. There's literally nothing to work off
there is
right now.
Literally nothing. I've been waiting on doing the transfer roundup video at the end of every day. Pretty much now for the past few days, there's been nothing. So when we cover things in the daytime, I don't want to just recover that on a video for, a 10 p.m. or 9 p.m. video. I'm thinking about doing paper talk videos, which is something that we've been speaking about for years. I made a paper talk intro. So if things are popping, I'll check the papers tonight and see what the situation is with the paper talk. But that's going to be like a more catered to a morning show as opposed to the evening transfer roundups. Other than that, though, that's kind of the transfer things. It's pretty dead for City at this moment in time, which I'm not too upset about. It'd just be nice to talk about something. Just be nice to, have some rumors.
It makes it difficult for us as content creators when there's nothing popping off, nothing really. So like we could start making up shit for you guys if you wanted, but that's
we'll just start we'll make our own rumors, innit? We'll just start making stuff. No, because then we'll get crucified.
It's not how we operate, man. Not how we operate. But yeah, let's just chat about the season so far and chat about some players, because it's been a turbulent season. I think it's fair to say. Results wise, injuries, players getting suspended. It's been hard for Pep to really cement an 11 and say that's the starting 11. I know that's not something he does generally, but he usually has a core of players he likes to play out week in, week out. He's not even had that. So we've had players playing in different positions a lot this season, trying out new things. So there's a fair bit to talk about, to be fair.
Yeah, man. So it's hard to where do we go with them? Where do we start on this? Like how do you wanna start off our little player of the season thing? Should we start with just different players and go through different players and how they've kind of impacted us this year? I think one to look at maybe is a good way to start. It'd be a person who impacted us quite heavily during the first few months of the season. Julian Alvarez he threw his name in as a shout for player of the season so far, given his impact in the first few months. Obviously, we know Kevin De Bruyne being injured, he kind of slotted into that role, took it up on his stride as well. He did really well at the start, and then he kind of has gone missing the last few times he played there. And so people kind of switched on him a little bit and said like, nah, this ain't it. But I've got his stats in front of me here. This is the 23-24 season, all games including Community Shield, FA Cup, Super Cup, Club World Cup, Champions League, Premier League, Carabao, lots. So he played 29 games already this season as Julian Alvarez. He's scored 13 goals and he's got 10 assists.
That's
29
really
games.
That's
a
really
good.
Really
that's a good return for Julian Alvarez, considering as well that he has been ghosting a few times in some of the games.
Yeah, I think if you were to do this video in November, you'd say it's clear Alvarez. It's clear.
Yeah, nailed on. Yeah,
I made a video when I stayed in yours for a couple of nights. Remember, I did the
Alvarez
is the most important player. At that stage, he was slamming it, and there was caveats to what I was saying, which was even though he was slamming GNA, I still never felt it was natural. It wasn't a natural spectacle to see Alvarez playing in the midfield. It wasn't it wasn't a comfortable thing for him. He was getting his G and he was getting his A, and that was keeping him important and keeping him in the team week in, week out. But in terms of midfield overall play, it's not him. It's just not him. I don't think it ever will be him. His whole mindset, Alvarez, is to be in and around the 18-yard box. He wants to do what Haaland does. He wants to be the predator in the box. He wants to get those tap-ins. He wants to get those first-time shots away. So fair play to him, I suppose, for picking up that number of output, that number of GNA, while playing predominantly in a position that he doesn't like. I get the
that
vibe.
isn't his.
But he's not going to say to Pep Guardiola, "I don't like playing here, so don't play me here."
Yeah, so I just checked last season as well. Last season, he played 49 games last season, 17 goals and 5 assists. And obviously, so he's already, and obviously it does help with him playing in that midfield, but he has doubled his amount of assists this season. But he's only 4 goals behind his return last year, of the whole year. So in 20 games less or whatever it is. So I think he is still having a great year. Like, he's having a very, very good season in that position. Now, Transfer Markt have got it down as second striker. That is like kind of like the position that he's been playing in that midfield. And they've basically said he's played in that second striker, like attacking midfield role, 19 times. And from that position, he's got 7 goals and 7 assists. And from the centre forward spot, which is, we all see him as his favourite spot, he's played 9 games and got 6 goals and 3 assists. So you can see he definitely prefers it there, scoring more in less games. But the fact that he's slotted in a season where we have to, when Kev's out, we have to rely on someone. We have to rely on someone to step up into that role. And Alvarez did that for a couple of months, which I think is it's big, man. It's big. I didn't realise his return was that good. Genuinely, I didn't think it was that good.
No, we owe Alvarez a lot because, look, Phil Foden's getting all the plaudits now, deservedly so. He's been absolutely excellent for the best part of 2 months now. But when Phil Foden was new to the kind of midfield pressure at the start of the season, Alvarez was leading the charge. Alvarez was picking up the goals and assists. He was keeping the midfield ticking over. I mean, look, we can all agree that Alvarez, he's not most comfortable in that second striker or that number 10 role, whatever you want to call it. But when you actually look at it, he's on 6 goals, 6 assists in the Premier League. Martin Odegaard's on 4 goals and 3 assists. Do you know what I'm saying? And this is world class Martin Odegaard that everyone is saying is the next coming of Kevin De Bruyne. And Julian Alvarez, who is playing totally out of position, is beating him for numbers. So the way to look at it is he most suited to being a number 10 or a second striker? No. But is he still more impactful than other players in that position? Yes. So we have an absolutely fantastic player in our hands. There's no doubt he's an upgrade on what we let go of. Is he better than Gabriel Jesus? I'm taking Alvarez over Jesus every single time. Is he better than Raheem Sterling? I'm taking Alvarez over Raheem Sterling every single time, at least right now anyway. So I think he's doing excellent. I can't ask for much more of him, other than to keep going the way he is. And he's also so young. He's still so young. So there's a
it's
lot
great.
of way to go for him.
I think there's a big talking point as to with Kevin De Bruyne coming back and when he starts to get his full 90 minutes of, and when Haaland's back in the side of where Alvarez is going to fit into this team and where Pep's going to utilise him if he does just push him forward as that second striker. But I think he'll be utilised quite a bit in different positions. I think you'll still see him playing that midfield role even though Kev's back. We've seen it last season. Sometimes we played Alvarez and Kevin De Bruyne in that midfield role with Haaland up top. And sometimes you'll see when Haaland's not in the side that Alvarez will be starting up top and you'll have Kev behind him. So I have no doubt that the guy's still going to get a lot of football, even with everyone back. But I do kind of think as the season has gone on, he has kind of slipped a little bit in the standards that he performed from the beginning of the season. But
there's variables as to when his standard did slip, though. I mean, there was a period for a while there where the midfield was a bit of a shambles in general, and that coincided with Rodri not being available for in total 4 games, but that 3-game period. So it made it even harder for Alvarez to play in midfield when he's not a midfielder. He doesn't want to be a second striker. He just want to be number 10. And the main general in midfield, Rodri, is no longer there either. You're playing with Kovacic behind you or whoever else. So it was an even harder job. So I don't fully put his dip in form as a midfielder down to himself because we've seen he can be very impactful when things are going well from the earlier parts of the season. But I think you're right. When Kevin De Bruyne comes back, my personal opinion is the midfield will be Foden, De Bruyne, and Rodri. And I think Alvarez he'll be a utility man, but that's probably disrespectful. I think he'll go back to being predominantly a number 9, and he'll give Erling Haaland respite when needs be. But he can also then offer respite or sub in as a midfielder as well because he's proved he can do that. So he's a very versatile player, Alvarez, who can have impact in a number of areas of the pitch, even though he wants to.
Which we know Pep loves. We know Pep absolutely loves that. So it's a great thing. It's a great thing to have as a player to allow yourself to become good in different positions as opposed to just that one. Big up to Fahad. Yes, says Fahad with a 729. He says Akanji is outstanding, but this is Phil's season. I've seen a few people in the chat now already saying that this is Akanji's season. Well, not his season, but like saying how good he's been. He's definitely up there as one of our player of the seasons, which is mad. I didn't think the love for Akanji was there like that. I thought, he has had some solid games as well. So I do think he's a player that we need to throw into this mix. But yeah, and he also slotted into that John Stones role, exactly, which has been nice.
He's been asked a lot. He's been asked a lot of them. Manuel Akanji, like, look, he's never, in my opinion, going to be as good as Ruben Diaz as a centre half, and he's never going to be as good as John Stones in that John Stones role. But in terms of, replacements and players stepping up when you need them, and desperately trying to fill a hole, he's done a very, very good job at that. He doesn't moan. He doesn't, kick up a fuss when he's told to do something different. He plays all across the defense, steps into midfield. You have to give him his credit. I'm not his biggest fan of Kanji, but I've got massive appreciation for players who just keep their head down, work hard, and put in a good shift. Kanji reminds me, in terms of his week-to-week performances, reminds me a bit of the way Zinchenko was for us. You're always going to get a 6.5 to 7.5 out of him. You know what I mean? Always in that kind of range where it's good. It does the job. He does what he needs to do, but it's never like world class, if that makes sense.
He has the consistency there, which is what's needed in a team with no consistency, like player wise. When you're relying on these players and it's Pep roulette, you need players who can just consistently put a shift in, even when they're called upon after being out of the team for a few games. He'll always consistently get his decent performances. And yeah, the only thing with Akanji is he does have his errors in there, which I I think that's where the lack of it comes in a little bit. That's where the other side of the coin is. I think looking at him, you feel like there's an error there. But like I said, this season he's been all right for me. He's been all right. Kaushik, yes, with 100. He says Foden to win England the Euros, lads, this year. Foden for PM. Foden over Rishi. What? I mean, I'm not sure he'll run for Prime Minister, but if Foden did run for Prime Minister, I'd just give him my vote anyway. Like, I'd just give it him. But yes, Kaushik, mate, I appreciate that, bro. And Foden to win England the Euros, I mean, if he continues in this midfield form, then he could have a massive impact on us at the Euros.
I think on his day, Foden is the most gifted footballer in the England squad in terms of technical ability and just natural gifted footballer. You know what I'm saying? I think Foden is the most gifted footballer in the England squad. I'm perfectly happy for Southgate not to pick him. You know what I'm saying? If you don't want to bring Foden to the Euros, that's cool with me, Mr. Gareth. I couldn't care less, but
he'll definitely go. He'll definitely be picked.
No, he'll go. A proper attacking man. I mean, he was unfortunate at the World Cup, wasn't he? He was ill. Was it ill or he got injured in Qatar, so he didn't feature in the latest.
Injured his foot. Yeah. He got like a foot. Yeah.
A proper attacking manager who knew how to use Phil Foden properly. He starts for England every single game. A midfield of like Bellingham beside Foden, and then who did Declan Rice maybe behind
Rice.
Wow,
bro, that is such a sick midfield.
Wow, man.
That is a sick midfield. But also you got like, I know this is separate, and I know Foden has been cooking in that, but I think you got players like Maddison and that who have been cooking this season as well. They're gonna throw their name in definitely. So I don't know. England got a good side going into this Euros, so
they're still win.
Stay optimistic. Yeah. As long as we have Southgate. PJ, yes, PJ with a 1 month membership. Big up PJ, mates. Thanks for renewing, bro. And he says, Foden is our player of the season. Stockport Iniesta. Yes, PJ, mate, is putting his vote in there firmly for Foden. And Mohammed with a 2 says, Alvarez and Foden have got that Aguero and Silva vibes. I don't. Yeah, I mean, the vibes of it, I get it. The vibes of it. The return on it, is probably not there. But
you know what, Mohammed? They give Alvarez and Foden vibes. They're paving their own. They're making
their own path.
Like with Phil Foden, it was always, oh, he's the next David Silva. Oh, he's the next Kevin De Bruyne. Oh, he's the next so and so. You have to think about it and deep it. That Phil Foden is a hybrid of all these players. He's trained and played with all these guys for years, and he's learning the best traits off all of them. He's going to be, if he keeps going in the direction he is, more than all of them. Hopefully more than all of them. And the head start he got was the fact that he was so young when he was introduced to training and playing with these players. So, you know, you think in 10 years' time, Phil Foden would have done, 15 years, the first team? He could surpass anything we've ever had.
It's crazy. It's actually crazy when you think how much like Phil Foden could win at the club, how much he could do at this football club, the numbers that he can produce, the records he can break. Obviously, it's all about how long he'll stay here. I think he stays here for his career, man. As long as he keeps up his end, I think City will keep up their end of the deal and keep giving him new contracts.
I'd be disappointed if he doesn't become our highest appearances maker, whatever the status. I don't know who it is right now. I know Aguero's the top scorer. I don't know how many goals Phil Foden has for the club in total. I think is he over 100 now?
Oh, is he in that?
Someone in the chat, Rapid, must know how many goals Phil Foden has scored for the first team in all competitions so far.
Here we go. It's all-time stats for Phil Foden. He's played 247 games. Let me have a look. He's got 71 goals.
Tough ask to go and be the top scorer for the club, but look, he's got time. He's
only 23 years old.
Yeah, he's only 23. Frank Lampard is Chelsea's all-time top scorer, I believe, from midfield. Phil Foden's just starting his midfield career properly now, so the world is at his feet.
Very, very true. Very true. His trophy cabinet is wild. He's got a Premier League, a League Cup, Charity Shield, another Premier League, an FA Cup, another League Cup, another Charity Shield, another League Cup, another Premier League, another League Cup, another Premier League, another Premier League, another FA Cup, another a Champions League, a Club World Cup, and a Super Cup. Bro, this guy's 23 years old.
It's
Bro.
outrageous. It's outrageous how much this guy's achieved. He's not a kid anymore. You can't call him a kid. He's a man. He's a seasoned veteran now. He's playing with us for a long time, and he's still so young. But this season, his improvement and his development in that role in midfield has been really enjoyable to watch. Because I think if you're being honest with yourself, a lot of us in the early parts of the season were kind of like, maybe just put him back to being a winger. Maybe just make him left wing, right wing, one of those versatile wingers again, because that's where he looks most comfortable. Pep persisted with it. With Foden in midfield because he obviously believes in him, and we're reaping the rewards from that now because he really is. Like, the whole thing with me at the start of this season was I wanted Foden to impose himself as a midfielder. I wanted Foden to week in, week out, leave his stamp on games, pick up goals, create big chances, and he's doing that. I mean, particularly since we've come back from the World Cup. He got that goal against Everton. He got 2 there recently against Huddersfield. He got some sort of output against Sheffield United as well. Like, he's really stepped up to the mantle and taken the pressure well. And as we spoke about a lot recently, the return of Kevin De Bruyne will make it easier for Foden to improve even quicker, I would imagine, because that pressure and responsibility of being chief creator and chief midfielder, it's no longer yours. You've got the main guy beside you. Now you can just go and be yourself and do what you do best. So, yeah, we all slept on Foden. We didn't sleep on Foden. We just...
No, we knew he was there. We knew he was there. The thing is with Foden, I think it's the whole Pep didn't trust him in that midfield role. Pep kind of, I think he seen him lose the ball a bit too much for a midfielder that Pep would like. However, now Pep's starting to trust him more in midfield. He's becoming ready to play that role. And like we say, we've seen him on this season, and it's nice to see, and it's good to see him excelling because, like you say, it'd have been very easy for us to just go back to winger Phil. Like, just go back to... Do I think that his winger days are over? No. I think you'll still see him play on the wing. We'll utilise him there when we need to. But I do think you'll see a lot more of him playing in that attacking midfield. And I love to see it, and I can't wait to see more of it. This season already, he's got 11 goals and 8 assists in 30 games. His best season at Manchester City was in 2020-21. And he got 16 goals and 10 assists or 11 assists, something like that. So he's on course, basically. He's already, basically, by this time, having his best season, probably. And he's on course to have his best season in a Manchester City shirt.
I mean, like, the main thing for me was I wanted Foden to become a regular fixture in the team. I wanted him to start more games and not come off the bench or not make cameos. And he's made 19 appearances this season and started in 17. That's absolutely excellent. When you're playing under Pep Guardiola and the man rotation that Pep uses, Pep Roulette, as we all speak of, to start 17 of the 19 Premier League games we played, it shows that Pep is very satisfied with the way Foden is cooking, the way he's moving forward. And you'd have to be very excited with the way he's played recently, moving towards the business end of the season, that if he can continue this form and even level up beside Kevin De Bruyne, there's a really scary midfield chat to be made here with Foden, De Bruyne, and Rodri. A really, really dominating midfield. You think of the technical ability, the footballing IQ, the brains between them. I don't think any midfield, if Foden's on form, De Bruyne's on form, and Rodri's on form, I don't think any midfield in the world comes close to that. I really don't. That 3 is the key to us winning whatever we go on to win this season. Those 3 performing consistently, they are what will win us leagues and Champions Leagues.
I think if we can make that work with Kev and Foden on the same side, I think it would be unreal. And I don't see a reason why it wouldn't work either. I think Kev can offer a little bit more cover and sit a bit deeper than what Phil Foden. Let Phil Foden just do his thing. But I genuinely think that midfield 3, like, that could, if we get that right from when Kev comes back, and we can see that consistently throughout the end of the season, bro, we can cook with that. I just hope it works. It's all good saying it, and do you know what I mean? But I hope it's something Pep utilises and it works out for us, because the potential there is scary, isn't it? Like, the idea of it, man, it's a scary thought for other teams, having Phil Foden and Kevin De Bruyne in there.
Well, they're 2 of the most creative players in Europe on their day. Kevin De Bruyne more consistently, obviously, because he's had it longer and he's proven himself more in midfield. But if you can get Foden playing to a high level and feeling himself, feeling good, he's ridiculously creative. Like an issue we've had with when Foden's not in midfield is you might have, I don't know, a Kovacic or a Bernardo and a Rodri, whatever. None of them are real like killers with passes. They won't break the lines. They won't reverse pass. They won't slip something through. They won't make something happen out of nothing. They'll keep the ball moving side to side. They'll make good runs and there'll be good energy to the team. But in terms of that final ball to play a Haaland through, to play an Alvarez through, Foden and De Bruyne are the main two with the capabilities of doing so. Keep Haaland fit. Those two will feed Haaland goals for absolute fun. They're so creative and they see things no one else does. They're both of them together. Their ability to read a game of football is insane. The positions Phil Foden's picking up recently, I'd love to look at his heat maps if we had them, because he's 2 and 3 steps ahead of everybody else when he's on form. Phil Foden, he really is. He's playing checkers and we're all playing chess or whatever the phrase is. You know what I'm saying? So it's important to keep him at a good level. And Kev coming back, like we say, it's going to help.
Yeah, I agree on. I think it's a good thing, man. B there in the chat says KDB and Foden at Cams equals a City double, maybe even another treble. We got to beat Spurs first, bro.
Draw at Spurs first.
Yeah, draw at Spurs first. Yeah, man. I think the idea is nice, and if Foden does slot into that midfield role with Kev back as well, he'll be our player of the season. I know we're doing it so far right now, but he'll be our player of the season at the end of the season as well, because that is a game-changing season. So we've discussed Alvarez. In fact, just before we move on from Alvarez and Foden, Craig Partytime in the chat made a good comment before, and I was meant to read it out. It was that Alvarez, obviously we signed him for what, 20 mil, whatever it was, and City now value him at like over £100 million. Like the return on that already is so good. So good. It just shows the player that Alvarez has become. And you know what I always find crazy is, was it 14 mil? That's mad. You know what I always find crazy is that when Ragnick was at United in January, when he came out and was like, United need 11 signings, one of those 11 was Julian Alvarez. Enzo Fernandez was also one of those 11. If United would have listened, they could have got Julian Alvarez for like £15 million, Enzo for £10 million, and they got two incredible players there. But no, apparently he didn't know anything that he was talking about, and it was disrespectful for him to come out and say that.
We went in for Enzo. Remember, we were planning on doing a double swoop as well.
Yeah, we were looking at doing that double swoop,
and River Plate wouldn't have it at the time, but it is what it is. Yeah, no, Alvarez. I think Alvarez. I don't know. I think he's got Real Madrid written on him. I just have this feeling. I've nothing to back it up. I just have this feeling that eventually he'll play for Real Madrid. I think Alvarez is more likely to play for Real Madrid than Haaland in the future, in my opinion. And I've been saying that for a while. I remember when he scored against Real Madrid in the Champions League last season. I was standing beside Pater in the South Stand, and Pater goes, "Do you reckon we'll keep him forever, or till he retires?" I said, "No, I reckon he's going to play for that lot, play for Real Madrid."
It does kind of stink of him leaving and going somewhere else.
Well, you think about it, like we're all saying here, we think Haaland's going to stay a lot longer than we think, and we hope he does. Alvarez will get to a point where he's saying, "I need to go somewhere and be the main man. I need to go somewhere and I need to be there early."
It can't be a backup or a utility player forever.
No, he needs to go somewhere where he is that club's Erling Haaland. I could see Madrid getting Mbappe, and then I could see them making their number 9, Julian Alvarez.
I could see it. I could also see Barca as well, but I don't think they can afford him. Speaking of, obviously, we just, like we say, we spoke about Alvarez as the player of the season so far. Spoke about Phil Foden as the player of the season so far. But on Phil Foden, right, in the transfer mart top valuable players in the world right now, and I just got an ad for this, is hence why I just clicked on it. Would you Erling Haaland or Jude Bellingham for top most valuable, or would you rank them the same?
Well, you asked me who do I think is the highest value.
Who's the most valuable player in the world right now? Right now,
I'd say it's Bellingham.
Bellingham is incredible, but then goal return on Haaland from last season is just unmatched.
It's just the Real Madrid factor. That's the only reason I give it.
Yeah. Well, but at the moment, the Bellingham is just basically they're both out at 180 million pound, but it must just be Bellingham is top donning right now. Phil Foden, right? If I tell you Phil Foden is 7th, where do you think Bukayo Saka is?
If you tell me Saka is higher than Foden, I'm locking this thing off.
Bro, right. Bukayo Saka isn't just one place above Phil Foden, there's 2 places above Phil Foden. Phil Foden valued at 110 million euro. Bukayo Saka apparently 120 million euro. That puts Bukayo Saka as the 5th most valuable player in world football, and Foden as the 7th most valuable player in football.
That is that is an abomination. That is disrespectful to the establishment. That is absolutely bonkers. Bonkers. That is. My only rationale I can make of that is simply because Saka is so important to Arsenal. Like, he is Arsenal, Bukayo Saka. He's their main man. That if you want to go and get him from Arsenal, you're going to have to pay over what he's realistically worth. But every bit of Foden's valuation is purely down to Phil Foden's ability.
It is crazy. It is crazy. But like I say, I do think there is a big part of like he's Mr. Arsenal in it, so it's a big part of that. I do think that if Phil Foden continue on the season that he's having now, then he'll leapfrog Bukayo Saka at some point soon. Another notable mention, obviously, Julian Alvarez. We've just been speaking about him a minute ago. He's down at 20th, valued at 90 million euro. So
yeah, I can get that.
I get that.
I am not Joe Biden. The Saka wouldn't start for City. Do you agree with that? I don't think he does.
No, I think he will. I think he would.
I don't think he would. I want the right wing. I'm picking Bernardo Silva ahead of Saka. I can't lie. Foden, De Bruyne midfield, Grealish on the left, Bernardo on the right. Saka, you sit in the bench, mate. Don't get splinters.
The thing is, there's so many different variations that I think he'd get a lot of game time at City, whether or not.
But if you're picking City's
best 11,
Saka
best 11, then yeah.
I'm picking Bernardo every time.
I personally would love Saka in the team, but in best 11 wise, Saka doesn't make that.
No, he's not a Pep player.
Saka. Not yet. I think he could. I think he could at some point. Like if he were to sign him, if Saka came available, I'd be like, yeah, City should definitely be interested in that because Pep could do something with him, and see if it works. But you know what I mean, have you seen the thing that goes about every time he plays an away game? Like the guy's not scored like an away goal for like Saka's away record. Can I find that? Like his away record apparently is horrendous, like absolutely horrendous.
I'm not seeing it.
I always see it. You always see it until you want to. Like it's something like in the big games and away games, he doesn't score, man. He doesn't get any stats.
He's not a Pep player either right now. Like, I agree with you that Pep could probably turn him into whatever it is he wants to be, but he's not a ready-made Pep player. He wouldn't do what Pep wants him to do on the right wing. You know what I'm saying? He's probably more of a Jurgen Klopp type winger. He's probably more of a direct Salah replacement, if anything. But in terms of the way we play football, he's not. He couldn't lace Bernardo Silva's boots when it comes to what a right winger needs to do for Manchester City. He doesn't get close to it.
I've got a stat for you. Let me just double check if this was. Oh no, so that's 3. That's not away. Right, okay, so Saka has 3 goals in 27 away games.
That stinks ass. That stinks poo, man.
As the 24th of December.
You mean to tell me this Donny is the 5th highest valued player in world football? He's Arsenal's main man. He's star boy. He's clear of Foden, and he's got 3 goals in 27 away games. Man, get out of here. Shut up.
Wild, isn't it? Wild. Just thought I'd throw that in there. I see it all the time. So yeah, that's your little valuation talk. I just seen an ad for it, then I thought good to throw that in this mix. Right. So moving on to another player who could be the player of the season so far for Manchester City is a player that we can't live without. Rodri. Like, we genuinely can't. We can't do shit without him in the team. So he's played this season 24 games, scored 5, and he's got 6 assists. There was a little bet apparently, which I think has just been debunked, or he says it's not. Because apparently there's a bet that if Rodri scores 10 goals this season, then all the squad have to play with all the shirts tucked in. Like, I don't know how he does, but apparently it's fake, which is a bit of a rip. But it could be true. They're just kind of like going, nah. But yeah, halfway to the tucked in shirts game. I love that, the tucked in shirts game from everyone would just be that's good. That's good. Like not mentality. That's not the right word. It's good morale. The dressing room morale is exactly what I was trying to say. Yeah, and that's great. That to have them little kind of things like. But
what was the goal? 10.
10, and he's currently got is it 6? No, he's got 5 goals and 6 assists.
He'll get 10. He will get 10.
I think he'll get 10. He's only played 24 games in the first half of the season. Oh, 24 games so far, sorry.
He's actually playing slightly different to the way he played last season. He's going further forward. He's going further up the pitch. He's getting himself on the edge of the opposition's 18-yard box. And then when he sees opportunities to make runs to the far post, he's making them, which is something he would have stood off doing even last season. Even though he was immaculate last season, he's clearly trying to add to his game output, G&A.
If you look at last season, he only got 7 assists. Well, not only, but he got 7 assists last season. He's already got 6 this season. So it's showing that he is going further forward. He's helping out. And because we've been able to have the Akanji and the John Stones, that's allowed Rodri to basically go forward.
Yeah. He's crucial, man. Look, you could argue already that Rodri will be player of the season come the end of the season. You could almost just give it to him because he probably will be him or Foden come the very end of the season. I mean, I know he got his suspensions. He's got 16 appearances, but any game he wasn't suspended for, he started and played pretty well 90 minutes in almost every single one. The team just functions totally differently with Rodri as opposed to when it doesn't have Rodri. Everybody plays with much more confidence. The ball moves at better pace. His biggest asset, and people don't talk about it enough, is just his moving of the ball. The way he'll spot space or a player in space and get the ball shifted out to them rapid. It's his signature move is to pick up the ball in the center circle or just in front of the center circle and spray it out to a winger rapid fire in space. City's whole game is about getting a player isolated one-on-one with the defender, a winger isolated one-on-one with the defender, and getting a winger an opportunity or a midfielder an opportunity to get into space where they can make something happen. Or else you just look like the way Arsenal have done recently, where you're just going side to side, side to side, you're up against the wall of defence and you're never going to break them down. There's method to the madness in way City play, and Rodri is a key component to that. Getting the ball, shifting his body quick, spreading it out to Phil Foden or Bernardo, whoever's in the right wing, getting the ball, shifting out to Jack Grealish, whoever's in the left wing, and bam, that's where you try and take your opportunity. Phillips couldn't do that. Kovacic couldn't do it to that level. There's no one else, in my opinion, in world football could do it to the level the Pep demands of Rodri, and Rodri does it. Like, the guy he's a freak of him. He could go down if he stays with us for a while and wins more and more as the greatest midfielder of all time, defensive midfielder.
Mate, he's next level. He's next level. You could not offer up any midfielder, any CDM in the world right now that I'd happily go, yeah, here's Rodri, we'll take them.
Mate, you could offer me two. You could offer me Declan Rice and who's the next best one outside Rice and Rodri?
God. that's a difficult question nowadays, isn't it? Like
Kimmich.
Yeah, you go. You offer both of them.
Both of them to bin Rodri. No, I'll keep Rodri. Thanks. You can keep Rice and Kimmich.
Offer me Palhinha as well. Do you know what I mean? Offer me as many as you want, mate. It's just not. It's not a thing, mate. It's not a thing. I ain't ever getting rid of Rodri, innit? If it was my choice. It was my choice, Rodri stays. I'd offer him a new contract right now. I'd offer him a 7-year contract today.
Yeah, I think he likes it as well.
He's got 3 years left on his current deal. His last deal was in 2022. Honestly, I'd get Rodri on a new deal. After this season's over, in the summer, get Rodri on a new deal.
Yeah, and make him the second or third highest paid player at the club.
Yeah, without a doubt. Which reflects on the way that he is and his importance to the team. And he can clearly outline his importance to the team. At the end of the season, I guarantee we can look back and the games where Rodri's not played will have either dropped points or we won't look as good. So, which is why we need a backup as well. But honestly, Rodri a new contract is needed.
We need to push.
Give Rodri one of them Chelsea contracts. Yeah, man. Give me one of them 10-year contracts. Yeah, man. So Rodri, as we can all basically say, he deserves to be sat at this table for player of the season so far.
We'll do a poll at the end with the top four. With the top four, and can you do 4 options on the YouTube poll?
I think you can do. Let me just double check. That I think, is it 4 or 5? It's 4. Yeah, so we can do 4. So we'll do a top 4 at the end, and people can vote on who they think is the best.
Speaking of the best, right? I'm just looking at City's Premier League page here, and it shows you all the appearances and the stats and all for each individual player. Man, poor old Calvin Phillips. Yeah, the guy's made 4 appearances this season. 4. Obviously, no goals, no assists, no big chances created. Like, we all know he's done, but it's just when you look at stats like that and go, 4 appearances, all off the bench, you're going, fucking hell, man! What an absolute flop.
It is a bad one. It's a bad one. It's a shame. Like, he just didn't get the system. He just didn't get it. So that's why Pep won't play him.
I know. Sergio Gomez has 2 appearances but 1 assist. Only 2 appearances, bloody hell. Oscar Bob has more than both these guys put together. He's got the same. He's got 6 appearances with an assist and 2 big chances created. Like, it just goes to show, if you get Pep's system and Pep feels you get a system, you'll get more opportunities. If Pep doesn't trust you, boy, pack your bags. You better get ready to learn Chinese, whatever the phrase is.
Yeah, it's it's a heavy one, man. It is what it is. I think Phillips has made his last appearance already for the football club. I don't think we'll see him again, unfortunately. Stonks in your shirt, bro. All time low, innit?
I gave up on that a long time ago, mate.
No, you're not framing it then, no.
No.
Frame it, but turn it the other way around, like whichever way doesn't have his signature on it.
No, yeah, it's I mean, in theory, in like 10, 15 years, you could say
it'll be all right. Yeah, it's all right.
He's a treble winner and he signed the shirt, but right now he's the last player I'd want signature on that shirt.
Yeah. Yeah. So he's a player who's unfortunately just definitely not in the conversation for player of the season so far. L coat. I actually wore the L coat yesterday.
Can I see this coat, bro? Have you got time to show it to me? I've never seen this before.
It's upstairs. Unless you want to chat to the chat.
I'll chat to the chat. I'll chat to the chat. You get this coat, man.
All right.
I want to see this coat, man. Are we getting a left back? No. I think we're gonna persevere with Vardiol and Ake. I don't think we need a left back. I think Vardiol and Ake will be sufficient. What's your best combination for you in attacking side? What do you think of Ake? I'm a big fan of Nathan Ake. I think he's possibly underappreciated by the rest of the footballing world. Definitely not with Manchester City fans. I thought last season there's a massive argument for him to be player of the season. Obviously, Haaland scoring 52 goals, he takes that. But you can make a claim for Nathan Ake because he was so consistent, particularly at the start of the season when things were ropey. Massive fan of Nathan Ake. And you think about it, we paid 40 million for him. We were laughed at. Remember when we paid 40 million off Bournemouth or to Bournemouth for Nathan Ake? We were literally laughed at. Relegation player. He's not that good. Chelsea reject. Yada yada yada. Mate, the guy's unbelievable. Absolutely unbelievable. My best attack for Man City. Jam. Foden, De Bruyne, Grealish, Haaland, Bernardo. That's
You
what I'm
ready?
going with. Oh God, I feel sick already. Go on. It's not that bad. It's not that bad.
I don't think it's an L coat.
It's a bit zesty, but it's not that bad.
Look at it.
So it does stink a bit. It does stink.
No, it's not an L. It's a sick coat, mate. Hello, can I zip it up?
Chat, W or L coat, man.
Look.
It's better than I
Alright.
thought it would be, but it's still an L.
It's just not an L coat, mate. Look how nice and warm it looks as well.
I don't care,
Best
mate.
believe I'm warm right now.
I believe it, but you look.
It's a bro. Can I say this is? I don't like this bit. Do you know what I mean? Like, look at the arm. Like, look how my hand looks too small. Teddy bear JP.
Mate, it's
sorry,
mad
it's-
zesty. Mad zesty.
It's not Calvin Phillips type L, but Sammy Nasri type L. You know what? I actually agree with that. It's not Calvin Phillips' shit shoes and big pants. But it's a bit of a Sammy Nasri thing. What's the hood like?
You ain't getting no gal in that coat, man. Telling you. No, that's horrid. That's horrid. And if you guys want to get that coat, you can use code CityXtra at Boohoo at checkout.
Yo, someone needs to go get this coat, yeah? Right? And send me a picture of you wearing the coat. Do it. I'll send you a city top.
If you go and buy the coat, one of you in the chat buys that coat off Boohoo and uses.
If someone goes, yeah. If you buy that coat, use code City Extra and take a picture of yourself in that coat, I will send you a city top.
There you go.
I will send you a city top, 100%. If someone wears that coat, so that's an incentive, isn't it? For someone to buy that coat.
I might go and get that coat now. And
Yeah,
I get it for free. They sent me the shit for free.
Don't count at all.
Just that Boohoo order from the other day, please.
Yeah, can I just make an alter? Can I alter that, please?
There you go, chat, man. If you want the free City shirt, go and use code City Extra at Boohoo checkout and get that coat and send Jordan a photo of you wearing that coat and you get a free Manchester City jersey with it, by the sounds of it. So
yeah, there you go. Fact.
That's a W. That's a W.
See, it is a W coat after all. I'll message you later with no coat.
That's a yellow card. That's a yellow card. Yellow
Might be
card.
for you, but not for me.
That is a yellow card, Stacey. That is a yellow card. That is a yellow card. Chat, everyone spam yellow card for Stacey. That is
No, it's a yellow card because she's not messaging you. That's why.
that is not PG, man. That is not PG. This is a family-friendly, kid-friendly show. Wow, man. Yellow card. Damn it. If you're gonna send me a photo, make sure you're wearing a coat.
Make sure you're wearing a coat.
Damn, Stacey, man.
It's not PJ, it's JP. It's not PG, it's JP. That's funny.
Fuck's sake. That's not.
Straight red, and she's off, and so is the coat. Yes,
Stacey, there's your second yellow. There's your second yellow. You're off. You're banned.
Wow, that was funny.
Yeah. Whatever you two get up to in the DMs, it's your business.
What do you mean by that?
Rob,
Someone's jelly, says Lizzie.
There's me thinking that coat wouldn't get Porty any gal, and it's 60 seconds is all it took to prove me wrong.
Told you, bro.
This coat is a W.
You gotta trust. You gotta trust the coat.
Rah. Fair play.
Right. Just going back to just life. How many players have we been through then? Alvarez, Foden, Rodri.
Yeah.
Is there anyone else that you could put into the conversation for player of the season? Now, I'll throw a name into the hat of Erling Haaland, which I know that people might be like, yeah, no, it's not this season. But Erling Haaland is he still the top goal scorer this season.
Joint with Salah.
So this season, bro, this is the thing, yeah. People write off Erling Haaland so easy, yeah. He's played 22 games this season, Erling Haaland, in all competitions. He's got 19 goals and 5 assists. And this is a Haaland bad year, apparently, because of last season.
Yeah.
I mean, he's probably missed 3 times that. Like, do you know what I mean? He has missed some absolute howlers this season. But he is still scoring.
I think, yeah, based on the numbers, you could just give it to him right now and say he's our player of the season. But based on the high standards he's set for himself, he's not been anywhere near his best, which is frightening.
Mm-hmm.
It's really frightening.
Terrifying.
Terrifying that he's putting up these numbers, and he's probably played at 50% of what we saw last season, or what we know is his best. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's a number of games there where Haaland either didn't score and could have scored 2 or 3. Or there's games where Haaland scored 1 or 2 and could have scored 3 or 4. There's still another 50% in the tank of Erling Haaland, and I'm perfectly chill once he unleashes that over the course of the next 4 or 5 months. It's frightening, mate. It's really frightening when you think about what we have to come back and what we have to come together over the course of the next few months. The Foden De Bruyne thing is one thing. Rodri, De Bruyne, Foden midfield. Haaland to come back. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is not light. This is heavy stuff, mate.
It's like leveling up a team that is already competing for the Premier League right now. It's like, you know what I mean, bro, to bolster that team with these players is just insane.
Yes.
It's just insane. And I'm hoping that when Haaland comes back that he can get into his free-flowing scoring form of last season.
Mm-hmm.
I think Haaland wins the Golden Boot, by the way. I think it's his Golden Boot again. I think he'll walk it as well. I think he'll be clear of it.
It's just a shame that he won't win the Ballon d'Or again, no matter what he does. It doesn't matter. Haaland can get 100 goals this season. It doesn't matter. He won't get a Ballon d'Or.
I'm sorry, I love Messi, yeah? Messi, GOAT all the time, you know what I mean? Like, GOAT and that, but...
I hate this conversation so much. I hate it.
We've had this conversation millions of times. We did videos on this. Messi did not deserve that.
No. Messi, for me, is the greatest football player to ever grace the pitch. But did he deserve the Ballon d'Or? No. I'm sorry, no. How can you tell anybody that the guy who scored 52 goals in all competitions, winning the Champions League, Premier League, and FA Cup, tore every record to shreds, didn't win the Ballon d'Or? Mate, that is a fucking farce. And they'll give it to whoever has a decent Euros performance.
I reckon. To be fair, I think Bellingham's in for a shout to get next year.
I think Bellingham's definitely in for a shout. Mbappe, because he's with France, is obviously in with a shout. He's probably due a Ballon d'Or at this stage, Mbappe. Anyway, it's all politics, mate. It's all politics. A load of rubbish. Haaland was head and shoulders deserving of that Ballon d'Or this year. Head and shoulders above Messi. I don't care what he did at the World Cup. Haaland, over 9 months, tore everybody a new arsehole. Unbelievable.
Herbal, I agree with you, mate. It did die a bit for me as well. It died a bit more than already. The Ballon d'Or after Haaland not getting it. But Haaland, obviously, we can throw his name in there. I've seen people saying Bernardo. Bernardo Silva as well is a player that, do you know what I mean, last season played really well. This season has been playing a lot more. Well, has played a few times on the right wing as well, which is good to see, which is what we're seeing in the Champions League version of Bernardo last year. Whether or not he stays at the club past this season, we don't know. Obviously, he has that release clause in his contract, apparently. He's played this season, Bernardo Silva. I don't think Doku's in there for player of the season shout, to be honest. He's been very good, though. He's played 24 games, got 6 goals and 4 assists, Bernardo Silva. So, and he's played predominantly as a right winger.
Yeah, he's having a good season, Bernardo Silva. But he's consistent, though. He's Mr. Consistent. He's always decent.
Yeah. I mean, last season, in 55 games, he got 7 goals and 8 assists. And in 24 games, he's got 6 goals and 4 assists. So he's having a good return, man.
But when you think about it, bro, when we spoke about players needing to step up in De Bruyne's absence, we've had players step up periodically. We've had Alvarez step up early doors. We've had Bernardo be consistent pretty well throughout. And then we've had Foden of recent really, really step up too. So You got to give massive credit to these players, particularly the younger ones, in Alvarez and Foden. And then Bernardo too, as always. So, and Pep Guardiola for getting the best out of them. So credit to everybody, man.
Massively,
Bro,
massively
we're
agree.
fucking 5 points off top with a game in hand, and we've got De Bruyne back.
We've not had Kevin De Bruyne at all. Haaland's been
Mate.
injured recently. Like, it's wild.
We are the best team. We are the best team. I believe we're going to win this league. I really do.
Right, so I'm going to make the poll now for people in the chat. So we spoke about Alvarez. He's definitely an option in there. Phil Foden is definitely an option in there. Who do you want your other two as? Rodri and...
So you got Haaland, Rodri, Foden.
Alvarez, Foden, Rodri so far. Haaland is the last one.
I feel, yeah.
I don't think Haaland's not going to win it right now.
No.
Like, this is the season so far. Bernardo, he's a shout. It's mad. It's actually like mad disrespectful to say that Haaland ain't going to win this like so far, like because of, do you know what I mean, 22 games, 19 goals. Like, what?
Yeah.
Like, it's actually wild, but just by his standards, he's not been.
It also probably makes it more entertaining if you take him out because he's just a shooter for every award.
True.
You know what I mean? Like, you give Haaland every award. So you got Rodri, Foden, Alvarez.
And then the last
Bernardo.
I see Nolte saying Ruben Diaz.
No.
I don't think Diaz played this season so far.
Josko Guardiola.
He's been good, but I again don't think played this season so far. I wouldn't be giving it him.
Without his injury,
Akanji's been good. Yeah.
Jeremy Doku because of the impact he's had pretty quickly.
He's had a very good impact. I think with Doku be young player this season, even though like he's about the same age as like your Haaland and that. How old is he? 21. Haaland's 23. Foden's 23. Do you know what I mean? They're all bare young, man.
Who else could you throw in there?
I mean,
man,
you need a fourth, innit? So it's either going to be. Do you want Doku? Do people want Doku in there? Alvarez, Foden, Rodri, Doku.
Yeah.
Ake Beyond Belief says, but I feel like he's been in and out of the team a little bit more than.
I mean, just throw Kev in there with his one appearance in the league.
Just one appearance. Sorry, this isn't right. I'm just launching Doku in there. Right. Here's the question then. Here's the poll. Who is your Manchester City player of the season so far? In brackets. I didn't put the brackets. Yeah. So mine is Phil Foden. I'd have liked it if Alvarez was more consistent towards this end. He would have won it.
If Alvarez maintained the level he was at from like
November, December killed him for me. It killed him like. Whereas Foden been about.
If he even had a decent November, December, he'd win this clearly. Alvarez. I think I'm going to give it to Foden. I think Foden's my man, star boy, exactly Rizzy Lizzy.
I think it's Foden. So far, play this season, Phil Foden. Been very, very good for us. My second choice, I'm stuck in my second choice between Rodri and Alvarez. Because we know of Rodri's importance. We know, like, without him, we struggle.
I agree.
Like, he's super important. So that's why it's difficult to not choose Rodri, but
I just think the way he stepped up, Phil Foden, deserves the recognition.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
also, it'll downgrade him a bit, Rodri, the suspensions, the 4 matches he missed.
Yeah, true that.
Phil Foden has played more games than Rodri. He started and played more minutes than Rodri, so I think he deserves it.
So that's our vote then. That's our vote then. Chat, obviously, at the moment we got 40 votes in there. Alvarez is on 13%. Doku is only on 8%, so he's definitely lost his vote. Rodri is second on 31%, and Phil Foden is top as well on 50%. So it's clear that chat agrees.
Little Philly's going to win it. Little Philly's won the City Extra
Phil.
Player of the Half Season 2024. Congratulations, Phil.
Congrats, Phil, mates.
Your biggest accolade to date.
and you
Forget
have
your 400 Premier League medals and your 6,000 cup medals. You know,
yeah.
you're half player of the season.
This
for
is
the extra.
this is the one that matters, bro. This is the one that matters, and he wins this prestigious Nathan Ake with tits mug.
Oh,
There you
I
go.
just got a word. Phil Foden has sent us in a little video message just as a thanks for his award. Take it away, Jordy. Send it in.
Oh, connection issues. Connection issues. That's a shame.
Oh, darn it.
I have connection issues, man. We actually have a video as well from Phil Foden right now, who is very, very, very accepted of the award. He's buzzing for it. He's buzzing for it. He's going to be absolutely heartbroken that we can't play it on stream.
That damn Wi-Fi in Stockport, man, always acting up.
Yeah. Connection issues, man. You got that red bar, man. Nothing we can do, innit? If you got that red bar, then, you know what I mean? Guy needs a different service provider.
I can read out a transcript if you want.
Go on, then.
So this is from Phil Foden himself accepting the award for half player of the season 2024. He says, "All right, lads and lasses, lol. Just want to thank each and every single person for voting for me for the City Extra half player of the season 2024. I have won many trophies. I have won many prizes, but this one stands clear on top of my list of awards. When I told my mum that I won this award, she broke down in tears. She said, 'Son, we've made it. Let me go and get the champagne.' I said, 'Mum, I know. This is all I've been working towards from the time I was 8 years old.' Once again, to everybody, thank you. Jordan, your coat is still an L."
Wow. 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 Phil Foden. Phil Foden with the speech. Cheers, Phil, for sending in the transcript because the Wi-Fi wasn't working on the actual video. So, you know what I mean? Cheers, Phil. Oh, right. Well, that was a success, bro.
Utter waffle, but it was great.
This is what happens when we don't have content. When no one provides us with news, we have nothing to talk about. We end up folding in on ourselves. But I appreciate everyone who's been in the stream today. Do you know what I mean? Like I say, it's been a relatively relaxed one. We'll cater things towards Newcastle from tomorrow onwards and get that ramp it up and speak about that and get excited for that game. But like I say, it's massively appreciated. Big up to everyone who's super chatted. Speaking of super chat, Sai MCFC, yes, Sai, mate, with a 17. He says, "Big up, sent you a DM on the event in Copenhagen." Yes, Sai, mate. I'm not sure who you sent. If you sent it to me, send it to Hugh, or you sent it to City Extra, we'll find it. we'll find the DM, bro. But yeah, man. Unless you got anything else to say, bro, I think that's the perfect way to end it with Phil's speech there.
Yeah, I hope you all enjoyed Phil's speech. I hope you enjoyed the stream, guys. Make sure you smash the like on the stream. I know, like Jordan said, we didn't really have much to bring to you tonight because there's nothing worth talking about. So we decided we'd just come on and have this podcast-style conversation, interact with you guys, have a bit of a laugh, and it starts to get serious again tomorrow. I don't know what we have planned, but we will get stuff in order. Looking towards the Newcastle game. So yeah, big up each and every single one of you, man.
Yeah, man. Facts. Appreciate you all. And I guess we'll just see you in a bit, innit? Nah, you're no L coat, innit? Right. Bye. Bow, 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 bow.